Thank you, everybody, for taking the time to watch this training. We are going to be looking through the new phones, the Cisco phone that will be on your desk, as well as Jabber. Just to give you a quick description of what is Cisco Jabber, this is going to have a threefold function for you. So it will be first your IM or instant messaging tool. Second will be your presence notification. So that's what you see right up here. And then thirdly, it will be your phone function. So we are going to start with your phone over here on the right side. So I will just walk you through what you're looking at. This, don't be confused if you don't see a camera on the top of your phone. Like you see on here, phones with cameras will be for manager level and above, whereas everyone else, you have the same function, same thing, you'll just be missing the camera on top. So starting over here on the left side, this is going to show you your extension as well as your name right there. You don't really need to do anything with the side buttons over here. Looking along the bottom, you do have the ability to redial just by pressing this button right here. New call, this will give you a dial tone. Bring up your recent call history. You can dial straight from there by speakerphone. You do also have the ability to forward your calls right here. So if you click right here, let me just zoom that camera in so you can see the screen. So if you touch forward all, this does allow you to forward it to an extension or to your phone number, maybe a cell phone number, whatever it is that you would be wanting to do. The next thing that you'll see on the side over here is just some more options. This is how you can decline a call, as well as put your phone on Do Not Disturb, or to pick up the call, you just click here. Along the right side, the top button right here is actually the same as in the previous menu we saw with the new call. This is going to give you a dial tone. The second button down here is your call history. So you just touch this to see all of your calls. You're able to see what you've missed, any calls that you've made, as well as that you've received. If there's someone that you want to call back, you just have to have that number highlighted. You touch call, and that will initiate the call, or you can press the center button right here. Okay, moving down to the body of the phone, we have first just our back button, so you can go backwards at any point by pressing the back button. To check your voicemail, you just touch the voicemail key.
Enter your PIN followed by pound.
So you'll notice it asks you for your PIN. Your PIN right now is 1234#. It will prompt you to customize your greeting as well as your PIN whenever you get into your voicemail. There are 4 different ways to check your voicemail. Number 1, and the easiest way, is pressing this button, but it is also available to you in Jabber. Also, you will be receiving emails with your voicemail messages in there, and then as well as you can dial in. When you dial in to check your voicemail, it's going to ask you for your ID as well as your PIN number. So the ID is your 4-digit extension, and then your PIN number, once again, is 1234#. So just know that this is one collective one collective voicemail box. So there is no, when you read a message or listen to a message one place, you will be listening to that message all the places. So if you delete a message from, say, your email, it is going to delete it from your voicemail inbox as well. So just know that these are all the same inbox, although you can access them different ways. The next button you'll see right here is your menu button. You just come over here. The main thing you want to pay attention to is your settings, number 2. This is where you can change your ringtone, your brightness, as well as your font size. You don't need to really adjust any of the other settings in here, but if you do want to change your ringtone, maybe there's a few with the same phone there in a certain area, and so you want to have different ringtones or change your brightness, font size, you can do anything you want to customize right there. The other thing that you have is your directory. So when you touch the directory button right here, you're going to see corporate directory. That's the only one that we're going to have access to. So we just open the corporate directory. To search for a name, you do have to do this kind of the old school way. So let's say we want to look for someone named Lisa. What I'm going to need to do is touch 5 3 times to get the L on the screen. Okay. And then if I want the I press 4 3 times. S would be 7 4 times. And then A, I could just press 2 once. Once you have the name in there, you can touch search, which is right there. This is going to bring up every Lisa in the directory. Right now, you'll see there's only a couple Lisas with extensions, as this is a progressive rollout of the new phones and new system. You'll see this slowly but surely fill in. So just know that. Give it a little bit of time. Once you find the person you want to call, you just touch dial, and that will dial them. If you touch edit dial, this gives you the ability to change the number before you actually hit dial. So just so you know what that button does. And then this plus and minus right down here, this allows you to change the volume of your ringer, so you hear how that's changing. The other thing that you'll notice is on the top of the phone, when your phone is ringing, it does flash red. Same thing will happen when you are receiving, when you have a voicemail or a missed call, you will see the red light indicated right there at the top for you. Moving over to the right side, these are our calling functions. So the top button here is our hold button. To put a call on hold, we just simply touch this button, touch it again to release the call from hold. So you can use that button for hold. Your transfer call is this one right here. So that is the man with the arrow next to him. So when you're in a call, you touch this. It's going to bring up your button. In fact, let me go ahead and get into a call. So I can show you what this looks like. This is what an incoming call looks like, just so you know. I can pick up the handset or just touch answer. Now once I hit answer, just going to make sure I get all that volume off. There we go. If I want to transfer the call, I'll touch here. You see it brings me to this same screen. I'm able now to type in the 4-digit extension I want to transfer it to. Maybe it's a cell phone. I can search the directory to transfer a call by touching this directory button over here, but there's a much easier way through Jabber that I will show you in a minute. To get the call back, I can press resume, or I can touch the hold button. Once again, that will bring the call back. It works the same way for conferencing, so that's what this button is here with 3 people on it. You just touch that button, and I can bring someone else into a phone call. So I can add someone with no problem into the phone call, once again, just touching their 4-digit extension, or if I know the phone number, I can do that. Just be aware that, as I mentioned, in Jabber, this is a much easier functionality, so I will show you that in just a second so that you can see how that goes. Once again, to bring the call back, I just touch resume right here. To end the call, I can hang up here, I can hit end call, or if I'm on a speakerphone, I can touch this button down here. So let's go over what these three buttons are. So this is how I toggle between my headset and my handset, just by touching this button here. This will put me on speakerphone or hang up if I'm already on speakerphone, because it will shut the speakerphone off. But if I pick up the handset and then touch speakerphone, it will take it off of speakerphone where I can use it. And then finally, the mute key down here at the bottom. So I will hang up that phone call. And then the mute key here at the bottom when I'm on a call. In fact, let me go ahead and make one for you so you can see what exactly it looks like. I'm able to touch this button right here to put the call on mute. You'll notice it turns red. That lets me know that I'm on mute. Press it again to take it off of mute. So that is your phone, basic functionalities. You see most of the buttons here that you'll use are down here at the bottom, voicemail, your global directory, as well as putting the call on hold and your other calling functions. All right. Now we are going to move over to Jabber. So that's what this screen is on the right. Go ahead and minimize this one. We will talk through Jabber. Okay, so as I mentioned, Jabber has a threefold function for you. That is your IM tool. It is also your presence, so you can see what people's status is. And then thirdly, your calling function. So we're going to start there, as that is what we've been talking about with the phone. So to make a phone call through Jabber, all I have to do is dial the same way that I dial on the phone. So I dial 9 and then either the 7 or 11-digit number, and just press and then just click enter. So in this case, I'm going to dial an internal call. So this is a 4-digit extension. So let's say I'm calling extension 2870. I just type that in. I come over here and click call. You'll notice it brings up the call window. I'm going to go ahead and answer over here. let's make sure that our options are set so we can see the calling window. I want you to be able to see that. To the front on all calls. Okay. One thing that you'll notice is in your status when you are, if you are in presenting or on Do Not Disturb, it's going to automatically hide calls, IMs, pop-ups from you. So that will keep you from being disturbed when you are, maybe when you're at the time where you set it on Do Not Disturb. I'll go ahead and call this again now that I'm not on Do Not Disturb. Okay, and you'll notice I have here my call window. So this is the same window that will come up whether I am an internal call, external call, anybody that I'm calling. Make this just a little bit bigger for you here so you can really see it. There we go. Down here I have my keypad. So this is my ability to press 1 for yes, 2 for no, for example, if I'm on an outside call. I also have my calling function. So I have the ability to put a call on hold right here. This is controlling my phone on my desk. Okay, so when I put the call on hold, you'll notice it goes to hold. I can just click resume to get the call back. So either way, I can use the hold button on the phone or the hold button here in Jabber. One thing to point out is that this very much comes down to your personal work style and how you choose to access the phone. So if you choose to access the phone via Jabber, then it's very easy. Once again, you can just stay on your computer, click, and do all these things. If you are someone who more prefers your phone, you can do that, no problem. To bring the call back, I just click resume. The next function I have is to transfer a call. So here's where transferring calls comes in quite a bit easier. I no longer have to know the extension, know the phone number, or look through a directory. If I want to transfer the call to, I'll just use Richard as an example. Here we go. You see he comes up right there. And now I can just simply click on him, transfer the call to him. I can do either a warm or a cold transfer. So just to explain what those are, a warm transfer means that it will actually ring him. I can stay on the phone, talk to him, and say, hey, Richard, I have John from ABC Company for you. Would you like to take the call? He says yes. I click transfer, and the call would go to him. A cold transfer would just simply mean I transfer the call. So I click here, I pick his work number, and it will start to dial him, and I can choose to transfer it to him that quickly. So in this case, I will not do that so that he doesn't get a call from us. But this will be, that's what a cold transfer is. I can just then simply click transfer. So both options available to you there. And then the same thing goes for conferencing. So when I choose to go to a conference call, you'll notice the window changes just a little bit. This brings us into a conference call. Now what I can do the same way is add someone into the conference. So let's say, for example, it's Richard. So I click him, or I guess I clicked on Gregory actually. So as soon as I want to bring him into the call, I just click on this phone, choose his work number, and dial him into the phone. I can then let him know what I'm bringing him into, who I'm talking to, and then he would be able to join the call that way. So very, very simple. One thing you'll notice is when I type in participants, as I start to type, it brings up a comprehensive list, anyone whose name matches the letters that I have typed in. So this also works. Maybe I got a call that was a miss extension. They thought they were calling one person. I don't know that person, but it's as simple as if they know their name, I can type it in. I can transfer the call to them. I can get it off my plate without having to go through a directory search and find their extension and hope that I can send it. No, I can just send it straight over to them. I can also see their status if they're available or if they were in a meeting, on a call, do not disturb, that sort of thing, to make sure I'm not sending a call to someone who is in the middle of something at the time. So that is how to make a call. If the person that I'm trying to call is already in my contacts, so let's say I want to make a call to Gregory, I just simply go over here. A few ways I can do this. I can click on the phone as I've been showing you, click on the work number, and that will initiate a call. I can also double click on his name. That's going to open up the IM window that we'll talk about in just a second. But at the top right-hand corner of the IM window is the phone button as well. So I'm able to click to dial here, which is no problem. The next thing that I can do is I can actually right-click on the person's name, and then go down to call, and this will allow me to call them there. So quite a few different ways that I can initiate a call. So you'll notice a right click and just go to call. I can go to their number, and that will initiate a call. So lots of ways to do that, really just kind of up to you and how you choose to make those calls. So in regards to adding contacts here into Jabber, a few suggestions I have for you. Number one is to have a group that is your frequent contact. So these are people you talk to daily, maybe every other day, enough that you're going to want to contact them, you're going to want to IM them, call them, that sort of thing. Maybe have a secondary list, so these would be secondary contacts, maybe talking to them more weekly, monthly, but you definitely want to have them. You don't need to add anyone in, so if I know I need to call Lisa, but she's not someone that I need to have on my list, right? I just simply come over here, find her name. If she and I are going to talk once or twice, I don't necessarily want to add her as a contact. You'll see, have complete access to clicking on the call button. I can still make a call to her with no problem. So very easy for me to come in. I just simply type the name to find the person and their information that I'm trying to call. Another list that you may want to have is a speed dial list. So let's just show how this works. Since I have been using Lisa's name for an example, let's say we're going to add Lisa in as a contact here, and we're going to put her in speed dial because she's someone I need to talk to. It's going to ask me what group I want to add her to. So once again, just to make sure you saw how I did that, I typed her name, found the person that I keep typing Liz instead of Lisa. I find the person that I am trying to add here. If they're not in my contact list, I'm going to see this gray add button next to them. Click on that. It's going to ask me what group I want to put them in. Maybe this is a new group, speed dial, for example. Instead of choosing one of these groups, I just click on new group, type in speed dial, and click create. Now when I click add, it's going to create the group for Lisa of speed dial, as well as put Lisa in that group. Speed dial is great because if I have 5, 6, 7, however many people that you're wanting to dial, once again, they're right here under the list. I just come over here, click on call, and I'm able to initiate a call with them very quickly. So this is a great use for the speed dial rather than having to have 100 buttons on your phone or memorize a bunch of extensions. You can just come here and click dial. One nice thing is because she's an internal contact, anyone who is a CRMC contact, I can actually, you'll notice down here I have the option to move her to a group or copy her to a group. So Lisa can be in as many groups as I want. If I just want to take her out of one group and put her into another one, I just click on the group that I want to move her to. It will remove her from speed dial and move her to that. However, if I want to copy her to a group, once again, I just come down to copy to group. Let's just choose this one for now so you can see how it works. And it's actually going to, you see, copy her to this group. So I can have her in multiple groups. Maybe she's a frequent contact, but I want her under speed dial as well. The other option that you can use for groups is to actually create groups for projects that you're in. So another way to create a group, just so you know, is to go up to this menu right here, go to File and New, and then you're going to click on Group. This is where you can name this group. So I'm just going to call this Test Project. So now what I'm able to do is bring a few people into this group. In this case, I'm just going to copy Lisa and Greg. So let's say Lisa and Greg and I are going to be on a project together. We know we're going to have to stay in contact. We're going to have to be meeting together. So I'm going to create a group in Jabber for it. Because now what I can do is actually hover over the group name. You'll notice on the right side over here, I have two little icons. So I can start a group chat immediately with Greg and Lisa just by clicking this button, or start a conference call by clicking on this call button. When I get into test, the other options that I have with them as a group is by right-clicking on Test Project. I can, same functions that I just showed you, start a conference call or a group chat. The third option is to send a broadcast message. So this actually sends a message to every person in the group, but sends it individually. So rather than sending one message to everyone in the group, brings them into a group chat, and now we, maybe are initiating communication that we didn't want to do. I just wanted to let them know, hey, everyone, on Friday will be a big day, come prepared, whatever it would be. But rather than doing it through email, I wanted to do it individually in the group. I just click send broadcast message. They won't see what other people say back and forth between the person who initiated the message and who it's sent to. They'll be just private IMs. I also do have the ability to send this group an email. So if I click project and no longer want it in my list, I just come down here to remove, click remove, and it will remove the project from my groups. You'll notice it does not take Lisa out of my contact list. It just takes her out of that group. So as long as she's in another group, she's still there. But if that was the only group they were in, you would have to add them again to bring them into a group. Going down the side here, just to talk about a few of the other buttons, we have our chats. So this is going to show me anyone that I have IM'd with. So this is not going to show me the messages. So just be aware that if I am IMing with someone, so once again, I double click on Lisa right here. We're chatting, we're talking, we've got messages. As soon as I close this window out, those IMs are going to disappear. Okay, so they do not save. They do not save with the IM. When I open it back up, it will be a clean slate. I'm going to open someone who's actually online right now so I can show you. So in the IM window, this is where I can access being able to chat with someone, IM, call. A couple other things that I can do inside of here. At the top, this black button right here is the ability to share our screen. So if I want to have a screen sharing session with someone who's a contact, I just simply click on share screen. I have the ability to let them take control of my screen or vice versa, take control of their screen. And we can do that easily right here through Jabber. I can take a screen capture, so I can capture anything on my screen using this button, or send an attachment or a file here in the IM session. Once again, be aware that when you do that, it will go away as soon as you close it down, but you do have that ability. If you want to add someone who is a contact who is not in your organization, you do have the ability to do that. You wouldn't be able to IM with them, but you can call them. So to do that, you just go to Menu, File, New, and then that is called a custom contact. So you just click on Custom Contact. It's going to bring up a form for you to fill out whatever you want their display name to be. You can put in their name. You can put in as much of this information as you would like to. For now, I'll just put in a work phone number. There we go. Once I have everything the way I want it, I just click Create. It's going to drop them in the first group list that I have. One thing to let you know is if you want the same outside contact in more than one list, maybe they're on a conference call, but you also want them in your speed dial, this you do not have the ability to copy them to another group. You would just have to move them to the group. Just, you know, if you want a custom contact in multiple groups, then you would actually just have to create that contact multiple times. But now you see I have the ability here to get into a call with them. I can put them into my speed dial. So this can be really anyone that you call consistently you may want to put in. Just create that custom contact, and you have that ability. Walking down the left side, I also do have the access to my call history. So just as I showed you on the phone, I do have that in Jabber as well right here. My voice messages, I have the ability to access those. Once again, as I mentioned, when I listen to one here, it will mark as read everywhere in all of my voicemail inboxes because they are one. I can press play to play it. If I delete it here, it is going to be removed, not only from here, but totally from my voicemail. But easy to access here. And then finally, you have your meetings. So this is going to coordinate and integrate there with your Outlook calendar. So any meeting that you have in Outlook is going to show up in this window right here. It will change your status. If you're in a meeting, it will change this to yellow and show in a meeting. If you're on a call, the same thing will happen. This will turn yellow and say on a call. The only way to go into Do Not Disturb is to actually come in here and click on Do Not Disturb. You also do have the ability to create custom status. So maybe you have a very busy day. Very busy, please send email. So whatever you would want it to say, you can say. Now people will know a little bit more about what your status is. Also, maybe you're just working from a different location or something is different. You don't have to put it on red. You can create any kind of custom status that you want by typing in this button right here. Same thing, maybe you're going to be at lunch, whatever that would be. You can type in anything that you want to. Then those statuses will save here. You can go back and select that at any point. One thing to remember is just because it shows that someone is in a meeting does not necessarily mean they are. Meaning, the reason I say that is because Oftentimes we have hour-long meetings scheduled in Outlook that last 20 minutes, so it's very likely they could be available. Feel free to send them a message just saying, hey, give me a call, or let me know when you're free, whatever it would be. The other way I can do, if I can see they're on a call or on Do Not Disturb, maybe they're at lunch, whatever that would be, I can right-click on their name and click on this Alert when available. So when I click on this, you'll notice it brings a little bell right over here to the right side. What it's actually going to do is when that contact status changes back to available, I'm going to get a pop-up in the top right-hand corner that will let me know they're available. So I don't come back every 5 minutes to see if they're off the call or on the call. I can just click that on, it'll give me a pop-up notification, and then I can contact them. And the final thing about calling is right down here, you do have the ability to forward calls just by clicking on that phone at the bottom left corner, going to forward calls, then you can forward them to your voicemail or any number that you choose. The last thing that I want to show you is what's called the docked window. So the docked window is a way to access Jabber without having to have the whole screen open. So if you go under Menu and then View and Show Dock Window, make sure that's checked off. I'm going to go ahead and close this down now. You'll notice that at the top right here, I get just a small Jabber window. So this is the same way for me to call. I can call anyone. I can type in numbers, names, contacts, whatever it would be. Click Call to initiate contact with them. I can check my call history right here. I can check my voicemails or open up the Jabber window. So if this is how you choose to access Jabber, that's fine. If you see it and you don't like it, you want to remove it, once again, you go to Menu, View, and Show Dock Window. That will remove the dock window from your desktop. For the few options that you may want to access, you're going to go under File and Options, so Menu, File, Options. You saw me in this window a little bit earlier, but I'll show you what I did here. Really, the only place that you're going to want to access is under Chats. This is where you can change your font, and then also with calls. So calls, you'll notice when I was on a call, I had a call window up front. If that's not something you want to do, maybe you're using your phone primarily for calls, or it keeps getting in the way of the work that you're doing, you can change this and have it, instead of having it say bring the conversation to the front on all calls, I can say never. But one thing to know is if I choose never, it actually, I will not have access to those calling functions that I showed you, the call forwarding, the conferencing, as well as hold. I would have to do that through the phone. So just be aware of that if you get on a call. But once again, this has to do with your work preference more than anything. Other than that, I think that is the end of the content for now. We do want to let you know if you have any issues to contact Nathan Robillard on Jabber or at his extension, which is 3633. He will be a resource to you going forward if you have specific questions, specific issues, or anything that we can help with. Once again, Nathan Robillard on Jabber or at extension 3633. So thank you very much.